Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria DeVette if you are new, and today we're going to be looking at the new Too Faced Teddy Bear Bare It All eyeshadow palette along with the Lip Injection Extreme in the new shade Bee Sting. So the palette is a 14 shade palette and it retails for $45, and the new shade of the Lip Injection Extreme Bee Sting retails for $29. Now the collection also does include a new bronzer, but it isn't available just yet, but that will retail for $32. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you these swatches for the palette and lip gloss, and then we'll get into the look and I'll give my thoughts on them afterwards.
One more time, one more time. I should have told you that I loved you every night. Oh, that's on my mind. I should have told you that I loved you. One more time, one more time. Would you have stayed if I had been honest with you from the start? Don't say it's okay if I'm falling and you're running away. You're the only one that saves me when I'm alone. You're the only love that I've ever known. But we turn into a flower that never grows. I was hiding like the moonlight that never shone. I should have told you that I loved you. One more time, one more time, one more time. I should have told you that I loved you. One more time, one more time, one more time. I should have told you that I loved you every night. Oh, that's on my mind. I should have told you that I loved you. One more time. I think I hit the lotto when I found you. I promise I am not playing no games when I say that you're my number one, baby. I hit the lotto when I found you. I promise I would give you all of me. Just say that I'm your number one, baby. We don't have to go outside, we could stay in. Love the way you make me feel, it's amazing. I don't need.
Okay, so first things first, I'm going to prime my eyes with the eyeshadow primer from Milani.
And you know that I'll be on my way, and we could have a
And the first shade I'm going to take is the shade Stuffed, which is like a beautiful rose color. And I'm going to take this on the inner portion of my crease.
when I found you. I promise I am not playing no games.
Just going back and forth with it, kind of blending it upwards lightly. I'm also going to take this same shade on the outer corner.
When I found you.
And the palette smells really good,
All of me.
kind of sweet.
I'm your number one, baby.
Now to blend this out a little bit more, I'm going to take the shade The Snuggle Is Real, which is this pinky beige matte.
Before anyone else was, you believed in me before anyone else.
Starting right on top of that previous shade and just kind of blending out.
Gave more to you.
Now going over these same two sections, I'm going to use a shimmer. I'm going to use this pinky gold one. It has some pink and gold, and when you kind of mix it together, it kind of creates like a rose gold. It is the shade Lace Teddy.
I am not playing no games when I say that you're my number one, baby.
I'm just taking that right on top.
When I found you, I promise I would give.
Now I'm taking that same fluffy brush that I used for the Snuggle Israel and just going back over those edges just to make sure they are nicely blended. Now in this section that I have not applied anything, including the inner corner, I'm going to take this really beautiful chunky gold. It is the shade For Real. And this one's kind of soft, so it can get kind of loose in the pan. It's got really chunky glitter in it. And I'm taking that all the way to the inner corner, connecting it to those rose shades. Just blending it in lightly with those pink shades on the sides. Okay, so now I'm going to take this beautiful rich brown, the shade Fuzzy Wuzzy. I'm taking that kind of like on a small eyeliner brush. I'm going to start by taking this very close to the outer corner lash line. And I'm starting to create a very light wing with this brown shade. And I am going to lightly bring this in on the inner corner as well, very lightly. Now just to deepen it up a little bit more, very closely to the lash line, I'm going to take the darkest shade in here, which is kind of like a purpley brown. It is the shade Boop. It's like a very dark, cool toned brown. Just staying very close to the lash line. And on my brow bone, I'm going to take this like matte shimmer. So it's mostly matte with a little bit of sparkle to it. It is the shade Gilda-Bear, and it's a very light pink. And I'm just taking that very lightly on the brow bone. And I'm actually going to take the shade Sharing is Caring, which is a very pretty blush pink color. I'm just going to go over this section one more time. Just wanted it a little bit warmer. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the other side. While I was doing that, I did take a little bit more of the For Real, which was that gold chunky shimmer. I took a little bit on my fingers and just tapped it over where I had originally placed it, just to give it a little bit more of a shimmer, more of a pop. I also went over the pink sections again with the Stuffed shade. It did still keep the shimmer that I had placed, it just made the sections a little bit deeper. And as you can kind of see on my face, there is quite a bit of fallout I just noticed from that gold. I did mention that it becomes very loose when you pick it up from the pan, and that definitely shows all over my face. Is a lot of sparkle. Okay, so now I am going to move on to my face. For primer, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier foundation primer in Radiance. I'm sick of daydreaming, I just want to feel it. I love this primer, it gives such a nice glow. And for foundation, I am going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I'm using the shade Praline. For concealer, I'm going to be using a mix between the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in Medium Beige and the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Sucre d'Orge. This one is just a little bit too orangey, I think, for me, so I use a little bit of the Camo one to kind of lighten it up. And for contour, I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Rich. Okay, and to set my face, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish, and it is in the shade 2. Okay, so since the new bronzer isn't available yet, I'm going to be using another Too Faced bronzer. I'm going to be using the Sun Bunny bronzer. And I just mix both of these. For blush, I actually want to use one of the new ones from the Lizzie Mcguire collection from Colourpop. It is the You Are Magnifico shade. It is a cool toned hot pink. And it's very pink. I want it to be a little bit more orangey. I'm going to be using this one from e.l.f. It is a putty blush, so I probably should have thought about this before I set my face, but I'm just going to kind of lightly go in with it. I'm not entirely sure what color, what shade this is. It doesn't have the name of it, but it's kind of like a dark red orange. And I'm just going to tap a little bit on each cheek. And for highlight, I am going to bring it back to Too Faced. This is from the, I believe, Foxy Neutrals holiday collection, and it is the shade Frostbite. Okay, now going to finish up the eyes. I'm going to start by taking Stuffed. I think this is probably my favorite shade in here. Taking this on the outer corner, and I'm going to kind of break it up like I did on top. And I'm taking it towards the inner corner, leaving that space open for the gold. Now for the gold, I am going to use a damp brush. So I'm just wetting my brush with a little bit of setting spray, making sure to tap off excess because this is the shade that has that fallout. And I'm going to take some of this just slightly underneath that gold. For lashes, I'm going to be using these from Kiss. They are from the Luxtensions collection. They are the Royal Silk. And while I let that glue get tacky, I am going to be using the Damn Girl mascara from Too Faced. Before I move on to the other side, I am going to deepen up the sections where I used the Stuffed, and I'm using that rich chocolatey brown Fuzzy Wuzzy. I feel like it needs a little bit more definition. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what the lip gloss looks like on its own. The shade Bee Sting is a honey inspired shade. And I'm bracing myself right now because the sting, the tingle from this plumping gloss is no joke. I can already start to feel it. And it kind of hurts, I'm not gonna lie. So this is what it looks like without anything on. I am going to add probably some lip liner at least. So I'm going to remove it for now. Okay, so I'm going to take this lip pencil from NYX. It is the shade Ever. We are really going to go for that plumped look with the lip gloss. So I'm going to add to that by kind of connecting the peaks of my lips and kind of filling in my Cupid's bow. Now to make it a little bit more nude, I'm going to take this Soft Matte Lip Cream from NYX. It is in the shade London. Okay, so now I'm going in with the lip gloss. I'm kind of hoping the lipsticks and lip liner kind of offers some protection from this, because it does hurt, like I mentioned. It does its job, but it hurts. It's like the old saying, beauty is pain, I guess. Okay, now just setting my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And this is the finished look using the Teddy Bear Bare It All palette from Too Faced and the Lip Injection Extreme in Bee Sting. Okay, so let's talk about them. Let's start with the palette. Right off the bat, I think all of these shades in here are so pretty. You can never go wrong with nude shades, pink shades, warm shades, especially for this time of year, spring and summer. The color story isn't unique, but it is beautiful. I generally enjoyed using this palette. There was a little bit of fallout with some of these shimmers, particularly that gold one. There wasn't a whole lot of fallout with the other ones, and I actually thought the pigment of all of the eyeshadows were quite nice, at least the ones that I used. They blended beautifully, had no trouble there whatsoever. I'm just not really thinking about this, but I feel like this shade, maybe even this shade, if you're really fair skinned, these can be used as blushes, and I really wish I would have used this one as a blush. It's kind of what I was trying to achieve with the two blushes that I did use. But yeah, you really can't go wrong with a palette like this. I think the quality is good, but I see myself grabbing this palette, especially with the warmer months coming up. This is going to be a palette that is just super versatile. With the darker shades, you can definitely make it a little bit more dramatic, but you can also create soft daytime looks with this palette as well. So overall, yeah, I think it's a really nice palette. Now moving on to the lip injection in Bee Sting. I think it's a beautiful color. I really like the honey shade. It kind of hurts. Just something to keep in mind if you have sensitive skin or sensitive lips. It did feel a little bit better once I had lipstick and lip liner on to kind of act as a little barrier, but on its own it was pretty painful. But that is of course what gets your lips looking so plump to begin with, and why it works so well. Just something to keep in mind. But overall, really happy with these products. I'm excited to try the bronzer. Let me know if you guys want to see maybe a 4 more looks video with this once the bronzer comes out, so I can go ahead and incorporate that into some looks and show you guys how it performs as well. Also, let me know what you guys think of these. If you guys are planning on picking it up, if you're on the fence about it, let me know. That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that you are loved, you are seen, and you are beautiful. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.